Можешь Ире отдать? Вернулись на места. Спасибо.
Одна пляшка на двох, трохи не по-ковідному.
Я не чую.
Того, що говорили дуже мацно.
Ага. Тобі передати?
Так, передай.
Якщо говоримо, неважлива дистанція, головне, щоб прямо в мікрофон. Фактично, якщо ми говоримо ти або я, треба до себе його поставити. Або ставати так.
Я.
Що ти сиш?
Что нам еще водички?
Really kind of weird, I know. We're waiting for the stream to start, so. Okay. Okay, so hello everyone. We are back with another panel. My name is Darcia Tarkovska. I'm a co-founder of Music Expert Ukraine. Basically, we are an independent initiative helping out there to spread the word about Ukrainian music. Obviously, it's a pleasure to be back at Vienna, and furthermore, I'm really happy to be able not to speak to you in general about the Ukrainian music industry, but rather about my friends, my colleagues. We are the millennials, the Gen Y people, if I may. And the reason behind that is simple. All of us were raised in a very specific conditions. We were raised, give or take, in the 90s with a very interesting music industry landscape in Ukraine, like with some sort of post-Soviet vibe. Now that we are the grown-ups, it turns out that we can define the music industry landscape nowadays. So we will share with you some of our practice, success stories, maybe failure stories. So we'll see how it goes. Let me do a quick intro though. So in the upper left corner, we have Ivanka Havlyuk. She represents Vitanga Blood label. So she's basically working with some emerging Ukrainian artists, and she is also a part of Closer team. We will be discussing this one a little bit later. That's a Kiev-based venue, and the team is also connected to festivals. Let it be said, a lot of things are happening here. Now, moving up next, we have Yuri Bazaka. He's a founder of cultural agency called Kontrabas Promo. Let it be said, they call themselves, may I say so, do you call yourself as a king of the underground, do you?
Probably somebody in press kit called us like that. So.
Okay, so everybody knows Yuri as a king of the underground just because he's working with a very specific music niche in Ukraine. Then we have Alisa Malin. She is the CEO of Strela Booking and Promo Agency, and Alisa also does the PR for Closer team. So we have Ivanka and Alisa on the same team in a way. Alisa is also working with electronic music festivals like Brave Factory and Strichka. Lastly, the closest to me, we have Serge Sinsky. He's a founder and a tutor of Module Exchange. That's the electronic music school. And he's also the promoter and founder of the Module Live. That's a series of events. Whew, we are doing a lot of work here. Guys, you know what? The moment I read your bios, I was like, wow, okay, we're wearing a lot of hats. Like, we're all over the place. But maybe you have some favorite stories to tell. Maybe you have just one single project you're proud of the most. Let's do a quick elevator pitch round with some fancy stats, facts, jaw-dropping information. And let's do it like that. Maybe Ivanka will start.
Okay, I will start. I want to tell you about a project which was happening with Closer team maybe 5 years ago. We made volunteer club, which they called 31 Volunteer because of the number of address of the club. And we started doing a lot of things to help or make music events, festivals, parties, some helping for record stores, record markets, and something like this. After that, this volunteer club became super popular and big, and now we have electronic program in Telegram. We organize our work there. We have more than 1,000 people who are volunteers in this program, and we support in a lot of music events and musicians also. So, for example, on the Brave Factory Festival, this volunteer club helped us more than in 200 tasks they closed by volunteers, and it was 128 volunteers work on festival in a festival team. So it's really become a big community, and I think it's really a good thing to proud of, because our volunteers are not only young people, not as students. It's a lot of adult persons who have a job, they're heads of their head of marketing, for example, or some artists also. They come to our club, to our festivals, and work with us to make some events and events happen. So I think it's really a good thing to be in Kyiv, in our place.
Okay, lovely. Yuri, what about you? Are you willing to tell more about intercity life?
I will probably tell about everything.
Okay.
So yeah, I started working as a concert promoter. We were working solely with local underground music. We were making concerts and try to promote young music. But now I'm talking about only the live music, not the electronic or rave parties. And then when the COVID started, we started making online, and then we got probably the biggest online festival in Ukraine called Intercity Life. This festival got the biggest because we had a beautiful PR support from Alisa. Yeah, and then we got some funds and started filming shows of local Ukrainian artists in some historical buildings of Kyiv, like an old Soviet library, National Museum, and etc. And since June this year, we started a booking agency, and now we are working with other promoters and selling our artists for them, because a lot of young artists we had started working a few years ago. Now they are more popular. Someone even plays today at Vaisiena. So I invite all of you to the show of Dance Sleeping Band at 8:45 here in Buk foyer. And now as a booking agency, we got a huge team who are working as a bookers and as a tour management. Thanks.
Okay, let's keep this thing going. We'll keep on doing the elevator pitch of what we're proud of. Alisa, you're next.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you about my project, but I cannot mention closer for sure. Probably you've heard about it, probably not. But it's a venue, it's an art center, not just a club, that leveled up the quality of electronic music events, not only electronic music, maybe educational events that about art and music. And it's just really literally leveled up, so everyone who was inspired by this place and by what is going on there, but how people behave there. It's kind of unwritten rule how people behave. We don't have any rules, we don't have any written something, but someone is going there, he's checking and looking and watching how people dance, how people don't touch each other, don't just about music, just about environment. Everything is going on. And he's kind of become educated about this, and he's telling his friends how closer, not about just having fun, get drunk, so on and so on, just about the culture, the atmosphere. That's what I love in this. And but also Brave Factory Festival that grew up from 3,500 people to 10,600 people this year, so in 4 takes still. But I wanted to tell you about Strela Agency, that the first promo agency in Ukraine. I hope there are going to be more, but I was really proud to launch it, because now I have time and passion to help other projects to be visible, because as I see that there are so many beautiful events that unfortunately don't have enough education, enough knowledge and skills to show up, to tell about themselves, and or they can tell about themselves but not properly, not like messages, not the right messages they need to tell, or for example some crises, issues that they cannot solve. So I'm happy to like Strela agency is, maybe you think that it's an office, an agency, many people work there. No, it's just me. But for each event, I find a proper person all over the world, not only in Kyiv or Ukraine. It can be everywhere. It depends on like the goals that we need to have. And it's like a very freelance teams. And also lectures, like to educate, but not PR managers, for example, to educate owners, to educate organizers, how PR works and how and why is it actually important.
Alisa, you know what? You probably don't know this yet, but I've been working on a couple of projects with different PR managers, and a couple of those refer to you being their teacher, their guru, like everything I know from Alisa. So you're already building up the community of people
I've
doing
made like
PR in
I don't know,
Ukraine.
500 lectures already, but it wasn't, I hate like a big lectures for many people. I start to be nervous, so I created like homey lectures, like only 10 maximum people, so we sit at my kitchen or somewhere and just talk and like I educate, but also I can talk about each project, not only in general. So I am proud that I can give this knowledge. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, lovely, lovely. Speaking of sharing knowledge, Sergey, what are you proud of?
Yep.
Hello everyone. Of course, to be proud of some project, it's good, and to if we will speak about our community Model Live and Model Exchange, I can tell a little bit about the way which we passed. Like it's so first in the beginning we started to make these events because in Ukraine, like mostly it was DJ performances, DJ performing electronic music. That was the case, like that was the usual thing, and the live performance from electronic musician, it was rarely you can see in lineups, and it was kind of difficult to explain to promoters that this is like something special and this really could work really good on dance floor. So mostly we started to do it for ourselves because we've been and we are still musicians, so we wanted to perform, and we started to make events just to make your own stage.
Yeah.
Let's say. So let's call it. And after a couple of years, I think we've been doing like 3 or 4 years, we made 20 events. It was from the small bars in the beginning. It's ended up in a big place which called Plivka. It's not exist anymore, but it was really a legendary place. It was also the space for academic classical musicians, so for some experimental music with acoustic instruments, and also we started to make our own events there. So, but then somehow it's transferred to educational thing because when 8 years ago I decided to stop working in IT, core banking stuff, and just to start making music, I really wanted to gain some knowledge really fast in Ukraine, like just to get up and going, and I didn't find anything. And I found some online courses in London, which I finished, and I wasn't actually
Satisfied?
satisfied.
You were?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I went.
Sounds ambitious.
Yeah. So then I went to Denmark for 1 year to study in art school. Electronic music there is really for a long time already, so you can see like a lot of instruments and cool teachers. So yeah, I was really excited to make something like this in Ukraine. So with guys, we kind of transferred our knowledge with events to make actually lectures and to make a school. So for now, we have already like I think 300 even more students which finished our course. Some of them really kind of keep up and going. And one of them, for example, like 2 months ago, he finished the course. He's going to perform in Boiler Room soon. So yeah, like it's kind of you can see some fruitful results from this.
Nice.
Yeah, but to make a long story short, yeah. I cannot proud of this project yet because it's still developing, and I think about this like how it could grow up, and I want to make it more multidisciplinary school.
Okay.
And so, but I'm really proud of one project. You didn't mention that I'm also a musician and live performer and composer. So yeah,
Okay.
I wrote
My bad.
music score for one movie which called This Rain Will Never Stop. It's a movie from Alina Gorlova. It's a award-winning movie. It's already got like I think 15 awards, like a best documentary movie. One of them like it's Amsterdam IDFA, and like a lot of really cool awards. And this movie is about a Syrian guy who Andrei Suleiman. Who moved with his parents in 90s to Donbass because they are Kurds, so they moved from a war to Donbass, and then war started again, and he like kind of started to work for a Red Cross and like doing some helping on Donbass. So it's kind of about cycle of war and love, and it's really strong movie. I recommend you to see it, and this score which I wrote, I'm really proud of, and to be part of such a project.
Oh, wow, lovely, lovely. Okay, I actually wanted to refer to something that you mentioned earlier. It was like we wanted to build a community, do something for ourselves. And I hear this over and over again, like, you guys, we are too young, maybe we're doing something just for ourselves, for our small local community. Is that actually true? How would you define your target audience? Let's keep this going with Yuri. He seems to be very relaxed.
Regarding the audience,
Yeah.
the audience of our concert is pretty wide. It could be like from teenagers from 16, 17 years old till the guy 35 plus.
Oh, come
So,
on, come on. You did the online, how do you call it? Online festival, online marathon?
Yeah, for online festival, 50% of audience was 25, 34 years.
Okay.
Yeah, all others, like 30% was less than 25. So we tried kind of to find our target audience, but that wasn't possible because the age is too wide. But talking about the band, I managed to, the Unsleeping, which plays today. The audience is also quite strange. It starts, from young ladies who are staying in the first line of the parterre, and ending by the guys 30 plus who just had some nostalgia for punk or rock alternative music. So that's also hard to define. Even the social network, they said 25, 34, but when you come to the concert, there's a lot of young guys on the front of the parterre. So probably that's hard to find a proper audience, but related to the young, to the teenagers. Also, I work as a professor in the university, and all my students, they are kind of 17, 19 years old. And this year, I had guys who own their own record label. And
How old are they?
Huh?
How old are they?
17, 19,
Okay.
20 old.
Okay,
20,
now we're talking.
Not 20 probably, they're younger. And they own their own record label, and they have 20 plus artists.
Zoomers are
they
coming.
distribute, yeah. And that was cool to meet these guys, because now we sometimes working together. I help them. I try and to involve our audience to their shows. And in the opposite side, they also support my audience. So as a result, the audience is from 16 to 35, and from my side, it's kind of hard to make it to detect it.
Yeah,
So-
to do a vivid distinction.
Yeah.
Quick question though, when you see your students on raves or parties, do they still call you Professor Bazaka?
Yeah.
Okay.
That first few years, that was pretty hard because I was afraid to meet the students on some parties. But
Okay.
now I got some experience, and it's much easier than it had been before.
Okay, lovely. Let's keep this thing going with Ivanka. Ivanka, Yuri mentioned some specific parts of the audience when it comes to the music projects he's working with. Is that relatable to your artists on Bitanga Blood?
Look, on Bedanka Blood now we have 7 artists, and also the different styles, different genres of music and everything, but they have the original stuff, and we're actually proud of these, that they are unique in their music styles. And each artist have each their own audience, so I cannot tell that audience of the label is the same audience that Baraski has or Tatko Links has. It's like different audience. And actually I wanted to tell you about Tatko Links. It's interesting and not original project, because it's a French guy who came to Ukraine and saw what's going on in Ukraine, and he wanted to create his alter ego project, music project in Ukraine. He started learning Ukrainian language and speak to the mom community in Ukraine. He's trying to help moms and teenagers to be in this life. So, and it's really interesting because his audience become not 25, 35. It's become big audience of moms of Kiev, of Lviv. They make meetings and everything, and also it's children. They searching him on TikTok and trying to remember these songs and making TikTok parody of these songs. And it's really interesting to look at all of these. So I think that each musician has his own audience, and it will be, like Alisa told before, that it could be like more marketing theory. Theory, yes, it's right.
Marketing theory.
Yeah. So I don't want to tell you more about this, but it's really interesting that Ukrainian, not Ukrainian artists come to Ukraine, make Ukrainian project, and they have a really big, interesting community to support them. And actually, to this question, I sort of only now to tell you about another side of my work of Closer team, because it's really interesting information for this question. Our Closer, like a club, have a really big and strong community of adult people from creative industry and IT industry and everything. And in one moment, when it was more than 6 years of this club, we start feeling that I want to bring my mom to the party, but Closer, it's not the right place to spend all night or weekends. So in one moment, we understand that we want to make some new project for more big audience, and this year was born a new project Kureni. It's a big project of concert stage, of electronic music events, of theater events, of restaurant, of traditional Ukrainian, not traditional, modern traditional Ukrainian kitchen. And in one moment, we could invite moms, our sisters, brothers who are more younger, and showing them the culture of our culture in what we live. And for last, we work only this summer, and it was super interesting that in one moment it was like a lot of different audiences of Kiev, of Ukraine, start gathering in one place, and it was like changing of experience. We show them how to be kind. They show us how to make their own style. We start changing of our small communities experience, and it really
Inspiring.
Yeah. So
Inspiring.
Inspiring, yes. Thank you very much.
Okay, lovely. Alisa, do you want to continue?
Yeah, I can. About the audience, since the beginning, working in Closer, for me, it was like a very, very weird and hard, tough, complicated task, because Closer used to be kind of, underground. And underground, it's something you don't want to share with the mass. And I'm there as a PR manager who actually need to share with mass something. It was like, what shall I do there? I don't want to get advertisement everywhere, or like, I don't know, make like mailings about, hey, come to our party. We are very hidden, like you cannot just walk on the street and like, oh, what is this place? Let me walk there, and it's a closer. No, you need to like particularly know where you're going, and it's not easy to find this place. There are a few clubs, it's hidden. Okay, so you're in the right place. Then door policy is very strict. Like you cannot just walk. We will probably ask you a question like, what do you want to do there? Who's playing? Like you've been there before or not? Not about like we really need to be sure that you know who's playing. Just how you talk, how you behave, how you answer this question. Like maybe you are aggressive. Maybe you're like really don't want to be there. You just went to, I don't know, hook up someone. So, okay, this is kind of exam. So this place is closed, it's for community. Before it was even more small, so like just like started from 100 people, like friends, and like grew up. Then they realized we need PR. So what shall I do? I decided that I'm gonna do PR for, not for the mass, to invite new people, but to educate our existing community. I started to make articles about artists, so at least I've noticed that something was changed, because when I was on the doors, people came, and then someone, like a door girl, asked like, who's playing, and he's kind of answering with facts from the article. So I know people started reading. It was before it was just names. Then we started again. Like it's really hard to write about everyone now, but before I was educating my like kind of our own community. Okay, then Brave Factory started. Brave Factory Festival. We cannot apply only on our community, because we need really more people. So what has happened, like branding and everything was kind of applied again to our closest community. That's why only 2,500 people came on the first festival that was supposed to have at least 6,000. So we were in a huge minus. So, okay, the next task, how do we find another people, like, and who are these people? So we created with like a very proper marketing agency, the person we applied to with all our advertisement, not for PR, like I can do articles in every single media I want, in every like messages I want, but for example, if you spend money on advertisement like commercial, like pre-rolls and so on.
Oh, hold on, we're spilling all the insights on how to be a good promoter and PR
yeah,
manager
but
in
like,
Ukraine.
yeah, sorry I started this, but it's, yeah, so we found like one person we applied to, it was like a girl, 27 years old, she never been to Closer, maybe once with friend, and like don't know this, and so it was a really proper marketing tools that we used. And these people came, they found themselves, they recognized kind of themselves in our advertisement, and they were nice people. So actually, like Brave Factory as well, it like moms and politicals, like ravers and students, like from 18 years old, could be anyone, but they come to music because it's not very cheap for Ukrainian to pay 50 bucks for the festival. And we don't have the gorillas in lineup or like Madonna or someone else. We have unknown names. One journalist wrote an article how I went to a Brave Factory without not knowing any name in lineup. And like it's a huge article how he was like, wow, because Brave Factory is not only about this. So, and next year we decided to work with foreigners more. We've been working with them all every year.
But Alisa, so as of today, what's the amount of acts do you guys have, and what was the amount of attendees? Acts, artists performing?
Like from the very beginning, it was at least 50 different acts, 50. Now it was 70.
Okay, and when it comes to attendees?
What is this?
Participants, visitors?
Like amount?
Yeah.
Amount is, it was 10,600 people, and foreigners, I guess, like around 30%, they're foreigners. We're making press tours for journalists, like everyone already wrote about us, but we try to just invite and show how it's in Ukraine. And Ukraine, of course, is like for everyone is exotic country.
Actually, this year on Brave Factory was people from 37 different countries.
37, yeah.
37, yeah. We had a stat of resident advisor. It was 37 countries bought the tickets on resident advisor.
Sounds exciting. So if you guys are interested in visiting Ukraine and an electronic festival, feel free to talk to Alisa afterwards. However, I was just wondering about Sergey, because, yeah, we are releasing music, we are promoting music, we are spreading the word about existence. Sergey, you are having the electronic music school. You are working closely with musicians. How would you define them nowadays?
Yeah.
Who's the next generation of Ukrainian musicians?
I will also can tell a little bit about audience of our events in the beginning. Yeah, so it was mostly like as it was mainly only Ukrainian electronic music, and it was more like experimental music. So it was modular synthesizers, some weird instruments, and mostly what was interesting for us to make some unique Ukrainian sound. Yeah, so we didn't bring some popular hype acts, or so it was more like about developing the sound and developing the community around it. And it wasn't actually easy task because, for example, who is the most focusing group of people for events now? 17, 18 people,
Yeah.
but this is not music, it's like a jazz. So it's improvised music, it's music for people 30 and more.
You're
They
hurting
have-
somebody's feeling right now. So,
Okay, sorry. No, I didn't mean
Okay,
it.
yeah,
but,
I know you didn't mean to.
I'm more about like that our audience, how we've been trying even to target and promote for young people, but however, like our main auditory was like people 25 and more, yeah, it's more people kind of geeky people or some introverted people, so it's not a crowd.
Okay.
It's more individuals who are really interested in music and digging music, and they could like just stay, hold the concert, like it's like electronic music. People usually define it as a dance music, but yeah, you can just stay as in a concert, in a rock concert, enjoy it like, I don't know, like Berlin Attenal, something like this also. You can see people just staying around and listening music, yeah. So, yeah, that was the auditory. Regarding the school, I could say that I really wanted to have more young people, because now it's more people like who, I don't know, like kind of retired from IT or something like this, from programming, and they kind of like want to jump in a techno music fast and like just to start making music and so it's like most of the auditory like this, but also there are some young people who we can see. But I was really amazed that like most really hard working students, it's like one of the students, he's 56, I think.
Oh, that's sweet.
He is like amazingly like just he's so fast in thinking, and he understands why he's doing it. So actually I really not sure that young people could actually do fast learning. I don't know, like after this guy. So
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. Okay, so it all compares. Okay, I don't think we have that much time. However, I have still a couple of more questions. In the meantime, if you guys have any questions as well, just let me know. We've mentioned the youngsters a couple of times, like Bazaka students and somebody else, I think. So let's be honest, Zoomers are coming, like the next generation is already there. They're just not only on TikTok and listening to hyperpop. I think they're about to join the music industry, or they already do. What do you think? What will they bring to the music industry as it is right now? Do you expect anything good or bad out there? Yuri, do you want to start?
Yeah. Yeah, I want to mention that I'm also a huge fan of hyperpop.
Okay.
But I'm 30 years old. 30 years old, yeah. In my opinion, like Zoomers, that's not about the age. That's probably about approach. one more example about my band. Few days ago, I asked them, like, guys, we're going to the showcase. We could have, at least some business cards. Maybe let's make some business card. I said, okay, I have some designers that I can suggest to you. They said, no, fuck designers. We can do it by our own. In 20 minutes, they sent me the business card. Let me show you. That's probably the good way to promote.
You can probably share. Yeah. Okay, you will be
Just take a
mesmerized.
look what they did. That's amazing.
You are going to. Yeah, you will be mesmerized by the beauty of it on both sides. So yeah, that's the way it goes.
Yeah, and talking about like a Ukrainian industry and Zoomers, as far as the industry is not super profitable as it is in the Europe, there is a huge percentage of people who burned out in Ukraine. And that is why there are a lot of free places for the young generation. And even right now, in my team, probably the half of the team are Zoomers. And they bring a lot of kind of new vision, as these business cards, for example, a lot of new vision to the team. And in my opinion, that's super important to involve the young people to your projects, because it could even improve your approaches, your vision, and the quality of your projects.
Okay.
Can we
Absolutely.
keep talking? I also want to tell about young people, because like a few years ago, I found helpers of my work in closer team, and they are young people, and they are really look very trashy. They bring trash in, but trash in a good opinion. Something not a rule, not something like canon. They break everything, they do something new, and how they look, what they listen, it's really trash, but it's so interesting to see this beautiful side of this trashy behavior. They are really, they have very, how to translate, can you help me? Очень тонкое видение эстетики.
They're very sensitive to particular aesthetics.
They are really sensitive for aesthetic things. When I give some task for my helpers who look like person from the street with really dirty clothes and everything, but they do such beautiful things of decorations, of digital, interesting medias and everything. So I think that they will bring something new. They don't afraid to break something. They don't afraid to make something new, and they are on a different sides in one moment, and it's beautiful, I think.
Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, let's dive more deeply into trashy aesthetics.
Trashy aesthetics.
I don't know, maybe. Alisa, do you want to continue?
Yeah, I can. They are definitely open-minded. I just had a conversation a few days ago that now I saw the article. The title was boys are wearing like girls, dressing like girls, girls are dressing like boys, Zoomers doesn't care, and so on. That was even the phrase that the Kiev is New Berlin and so on. It's all about freedom, how you feel, no predictions or предубеждения, правильно? Prejudices,
Yeah.
no prejudices. They're free. That will definitely help the scene. So for Kiev it's sure, because also we are few, or not few, 10 years or 20 years beyond Europe. It's true. So everything's just coming, all this freedom and so on. And maybe here it's already something new happen, or maybe something closed. Maybe it's not that free anymore like Europe, and we are just started to be. And the Zoomers in Kiev and Ukraine, they're bringing this freedom. But that's one important thing, that we are partying for partying. We having fun. We have proper discotheques, proper clubbing, proper production, electronic music, community, and so on. Everyone is helping in this field. But I see that there are a few things that are missed, that decrease the development of our field. It's, for example, the legislative frameworks are like not existing in Ukraine. So you can dance, you can like have fun, partying and so on, having money on this, or probably not. But we have really, really huge gaps in legal rights in this. Like you cannot sign the document. We are not about contracts, for example. I'm having a booking agency and I never do contracts. So like it's all only like, okay, I know you, you know me, we trust each other. It doesn't work like this. Like in Europe, everyone like has it. Here in Ukraine, I like was trying to explain why I have to ask for advance for artists and so on, like why I need to take money if like something is cancelled because someone like just booked this date and was about to go on this date and now it's cancelled and like we left without nothing. So this is missed. I'm trying to do this but not. I really also knowledge, also like agencies, like I shouldn't be like only one project booking or PR agency of electronic. There should be more, but I cannot like educate everyone. Also, I'm not sure that I know everything. We really need Europe to kind of invest the knowledge, also these legal things, because I don't know any lawyer or someone who could like this help me with this. We are kind of sitting and inventing it from nothing, or I'm trying to find like in email some contracts of other artists we booked for Closer and maybe rewrite it somehow. No, it shouldn't be like this, like so. Yeah. Maybe answering your question not like directly, but it will help also other generation to not just keep partying like our millennials were doing, but doing it properly and maybe get some money and do it professionally. Okay.
Yeah.
And can I add regarding the
Absolutely.
things that Alisa said regarding like don't have any contracts? We have exactly the same situation. We don't sign any contract with bands. However, the bands are able to work with another booker, another promoter. That's okay, like for our policy. But we sometimes, when there is the sense to sign a contract, just for some like government stuff, we also find some like other contract trying to rewrite it. So we don't have any lawyers. Like I do that. I'm not a lawyer. I'm cheating like all this stuff. But I'm working like that.
Yeah.
There is no chance to do otherwise.
Yeah, and then each time we're bringing Ukrainian acts somewhere abroad and we need to sign a contract or do like some sort of payment, and I'm like, just invoice these guys. The musicians are like, invo what? Invoice? Can you send an email? Like, can they just pay me in cash or something?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the after laughter mood. Yeah.
And then
I think that's a fundamental problem in education in general. So it's like if you will see like planning management, art management, we have a lack of this like people who can teach these subjects, and also even for electronic music, it's not. For example, in our conservatory or in our like schools, it's not mentioned like a subject, so it couldn't be like discipline. Yeah. So and in Europe, you already can see like in conservatory for 30 years, electronic music faculty exists. Yeah. So I think the most important thing how Europe could help us is to share some knowledge, to send some people who could like share experience.
Yeah. Okay, for some reason I found myself requesting aid, European aid in here.
Yeah, as I see like so, how even like PR courses are super popular. I like keep getting students every time, so it will be very, very popular, I'm sure.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Do you have an example of an invoice?
Just saying to Yuri that his card is already working. I just sent it to my
do you mind using microphone instead, because nobody will hear you?
Speak up.
So he's gonna be booked or what?
Okay. We're almost there. We're almost there. And the question goes,
Well, it's not a question. Just telling Yuri that his card is already working. I just sent it to a post-punk band that I managed back in Madrid, Spain, and they say they like your
My
your
plan
band?
was good.
Okay. They wanna do a tour exchange in Ukraine and Spain already.
Exchange, yeah.
Perfect.
Okay,
So see you
magic
after
is
the
working.
conference.
Okay, magic is working. Do you guys have any other questions? Otherwise, we will talk about the money. And we are talking about the money. So, I don't know about you, but when I was 17, my family didn't want me to work in the music industry because my mom used to say, no, there's no money in the music industry unless like you're gonna be selling drugs or something, and I don't want you to do that. So it was like a very, very specific decision of mine to keep this thing going. So I'm wondering if you can actually relate to this. Is there some money, and and if there is, what are the monetization approaches you guys use? This time, let's do it the other way. Sergey,
Okay.
let's go first.
Yeah, first of all, I had the same issue with my mom, who been saying never be a
Okay.
musician and
Okay.
forget about this.
This is a
nightmare.
disaster. Yeah, I know, I
and
know.
She had a lot of friends. Of
Maybe we
musicians.
had the same mom. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't know. Let's ask a question: is the career of musician, is it exist at all? Could you make a career of a musician in Ukraine?
Sounds like an existential question, but
Yeah.
proceed.
Yeah, I think in our reality now, it's really hard to monetize music, like especially if it's like more niche music or some pioneering music. When you bring something new to the table, it's not that easy to monetize. So, however, I would say that the educational thing, when we started with education, it's sustainable. So we can continue work and develop this thing, and still it's require a lot of like investment,
Yeah.
of time, and also money. But however, it's growing. So, but I would say that before we will have some amount of investment in scene in general. It will not grow until this, because people just I know a lot of musicians who are like really they're kind of like genius, but they are under respected or underpaid, so they cannot like focus on music at all, so they have to work on different jobs and just stop making it. And this is really sad, because you're kind of don't feel like that something is going back to yourself, and this is important, especially when you grow up. So yeah, punk band in Ukraine exists. I have a favorite. Sometime I have a favorite punk band in Ukraine, and it's always
It's not.
one and a half
It's
of
not
a
the
year.
unsleeping.
1.5 of a year, another new punk band, another.
Okay.
We don't have Joy Division. Like
Oh.
I want Ukrainian Joy Division.
Okay. So do I. I want to give a word to Ivanka, actually, because she's responsible for talking about artists as well. Last year, my agency, I also run an agency, it's called Soundbus. We did a study on the Ukrainian music industry, and we did the survey of the Ukrainian musicians. It turned out, surprise, surprise, 70% of Ukrainian artists consider live performances to be their main source of income, the one and only. I'm wondering if that's still relatable for your artists. Do you consider any other sources of income?
Actually, yes. Last year, a show were for artists and all people who work in music industry. Then, in one moment, your life can stop, like stop totally. Some artists didn't have the performing for 1 year and more, and it was really difficult to understand where the place we can take money for what we will buy bread to eat in the morning, you know. And actually, in this situation was really helpful. Commercial companies who came to the artist with proposing to make some song for the advertising, to put water in their video and something like this. And you know, our artists, our label, don't trying to make our stuff commercial. So we're trying to keep this original style and more actually about music. But with Corona, it's changed, and we understood that we can work together, but in another more interesting style. And for this time, I think that friendship with brands, with companies, the most important, because actually it's maybe only one chance to have money in this industry now, because as you see, a lot of, now it's a lot of concerts and everything going on in Kiev, like every weekend, a lot of events, a lot of concerts, a lot of everything. But organizers don't have a chance to pay that money that they paid before Corona, because all organizers, all teams have such a big list of payments of everything, and prices of everything become really higher. And because of these, the payments for the artists start cutting and everything. And I think the best decision now is really a friendship with the brands. But and it's actually with the starting doing this, it was born a new way to work with the brands. It's become not so commercial for view or listening and everything. So I think it's a bad situation, but it make a new way to create our music industry, I think.
Okay, we're really running out of time, so it's either Alisa or Yuri. Feel free to choose whoever wants to give a comment on the monetization approach.
Yeah, so like
Okay.
I want to talk about money.
I
It's my
don't
favorite
mind.
topic. And first 5 years I had been working in the music industry. I did only a concert, only as a concert promoter, and we didn't have any profit at all. Furthermore, I was investing my own money to the company, because if I want to bring up that we are talking only about live stage, not about electronic. Even in case you bring a few hundred people to the concert, the price for backline, for the rental, for the ads, for the promo, it's too high. And even if you get some profit and divide it to the team and to the artist, that's a really that's a not solid profit. That's a funny money, and that was impossible to live for this profit. But then a few bands got more popular, and once we opened a booking agency, finally we now we are able to pay salaries to employees, to have some savings. And so for the concert promotion of underground stuff, I don't have any examples in Ukraine for the a profitable company for the live stage. But only one way, but not only one, but the easy way for the young artists to get some profit is probably to find some funds as a grant programs. Fortunately, in Ukraine, we have a lot of them. And that's probably the only one way for the super young artist. If you come up with some really a cool and fresh project, you could get the funds and maybe got some profits. But talking about a concert promotion, from my experience, that's impossible.
Okay. On this minor note.
But it's the happy end.
Okay. Can you rephrase the happy end so that I could be more positive? So do you have some money right now?
Right now? Of course.
Okay.
A lot.
So that's okay. Now we're talking. So that's the positive note I was dreaming of. Guys, I think I can do this whole day. Unfortunately, we're really running out of time. But thank you for putting this together. Thank you, Veisiana, for the invitation. It's a pleasure to talking to you. If you're interested in talking to us, we're here to stay. And also at 4 p.m. we're having a Ukrainian reception in the Grand Cafe. It's just around the corner, so you can go there with us and enjoy some beverages. And also there will be Ivanka's artist performing. His name is Zbaraski. So, and in the evening there will be also his performance at the church, and Yuri's favorite band, The Unsleeping, is also performing at Vuk Foyer. So we're not going anywhere. We're here to stay. Thank you very much for the attention. Let's keep the conversation going. Let's do a selfie.